I am currently the director of the U.S. program for international legal professionals and a professor of law at the University of San Diego School of Law in San Diego, California. Previously to that, for approximately 40 years, I was a lawyer first in private practice with a large multinational law firm called Morgan, Lewis & Bockius, and afterwards a partner at Ernst & Young, which is a global accounting firm. And my practice was mainly, or exclusively, international business law and international finance. There are several exciting programs at the University of San Diego School of Law that involve both domestic and international students and faculty. One of them is the program that I have recently been in charge of for the past 3 years, which is the tax programs. We are ranked equal to the tax programs at Harvard and the best of all tax programs of all law schools in the United States west of the Mississippi River. But we also have 3 other areas of interest. One is a center on corporate finance law. A second is a center on intellectual property law, and a third is environmental and energy law. Recently, we became very interested in developing a cross-teaching program with very prestigious law firms in other countries, global law firms. And we became aware of the very strong reputation of Direito, FGV, in this area. And so we recently launched a program to bring our faculty here to teach regularly. But also that agreement is a little different from many other programs. It says that if we teach a course here, then a student later comes to our law school, they get a credit already for that course if they wish to take a graduate law degree, for example, at USD Law School. So it's more than just a student exchange. It's not a student exchange program, it's a faculty program coupled with a cross-crediting. So the first course that we are teaching here is Introduction to International Taxation. And this, of course, is only 15 hours of instruction, so a short course. But it covers interesting points. One is the principles that countries use for taxing cross-border income or cross-border inheritances or gifts of property, and also how do they apply their value-added tax to international transactions in and outward from the country. And in order to study those, after deciding what the principles should be, we cover 4 different areas. One is the application of international tax principles to intellectual property transactions, so licensing across borders or selling or developing intellectual property across borders. How is that taxed? The second is 2 different kinds of financing techniques. If a company wants to raise money by securitizing its accounts receivable, how will different countries tax that income and all the parties involved in it? A similar focus is on another financing technique, which is the use of international investment funds. So an investment fund raises money in a bunch of countries, is organized in a particular country, and then invests in various other countries the money. And how will various countries tax that income or the transfers of interests in the investment fund and so forth. The final example that we use is an individual or a family migrating across. They're changing their residence from one country, say the United States to Brazil, or from Brazil to the United States. And how will each country tax them on that movement? What do they have to do to plan in advance for that kind of change? Of course, Brazil, like all countries, it taxes foreign investors on Brazilian activities and Brazilian source income. And it also taxes the Brazilian businesses and citizens and residents on their foreign income. My impression is that the tax system of Brazil is very complex, that there are many different taxes. Of course, there's an income tax and so forth, but there are other taxes, value-added tax, special taxes, and so forth and so on. So that is a challenge for foreign investors coming into the country. It's kind of difficult to figure out what the rules are. The actual rules, I think, are quite reasonable. I don't think that Brazil has some unreasonable way of taxing foreign investors. The other direction, the taxation of Brazilian businesses going out of the country, of course, all countries have the right to tax their residents on their worldwide activities. That's the general rule in the world. And Brazil actually has a very reasonable approach to this. In most cases, as I understand it, I'm not a Brazilian tax expert, in most cases, the businesses are able to invest abroad without necessarily being taxed right away on all their income. When they bring it back, they have to be taxed on it, which I think makes sense. So my impression is that the Brazilian tax system is a very rational and very reasonable system in relation to that of other countries in the world. And that is that my impression of Direito FGV as a school, it is in three ways. One is the curriculum. It's a very creative curriculum, and it covers many different subjects relating to business tax, business law, international transactions. But in addition, to do this properly, the school seems to have assembled a very excellent faculty. The faculty is not only from different backgrounds, sometimes academic backgrounds, sometimes in private practice, sometimes in corporate practice, but they also come from some different disciplines, not just only being lawyers. The third part of this, besides the curriculum, is the students. Because of these characteristics, the students themselves, they come from different backgrounds. There's some in law firms, some in corporations. Some of them were not lawyers before. They've done other things. Now they become getting training in law. But they also have an interest and exposure to business. And I think that the school is it's a wonderful place because of this interdiscipline from everybody, the courses, the faculty, and the students, and also a very internationalized approach. So I think that we're very happy from USD Law School to be able to participate in this curriculum.